Hello, dear viewers. Did you know that in ancient China, some people drank mercury to change their voice? Sounds insane, right? Fortunately, today, there are much safer methods of voice transformation that most people don't even know about. Imagine you wake up one morning and suddenly discover that you can speak in the voice of your favorite actor or singer. Fantasy? Not at all. There are truly amazing voice modification techniques in our world that literally revolutionize our understanding of human capabilities. Today, I will tell you about 8 of the most shocking voice-changing practices that have been used throughout history and are still used today. And believe me, some of them are so unusual that you won't believe your ears. And at the end, I'll share a secret technique used by Hollywood stars to achieve perfect sound. So be sure to watch till the end. Voice is much more than just a set of sounds. It's our calling card, a tool for self-expression, and even a weapon of influence. That's why people have always sought to improve or change it. Let's embark on an exciting journey through the most extreme and effective voice transformation methods. The first practice that will surely surprise you is the ancient Chinese technique of golden vocal cords. In Imperial China, eunuchs who served at court sometimes consumed a special herbal decoction with tiny doses of precious metals. It was believed that such a mixture gave the voice a special melodiousness and purity. Of course, from the perspective of modern medicine, such practices were extremely dangerous and could lead to serious health problems. Fortunately, today, we know that any experiments with taking metals internally are absolutely unacceptable. However, the very fact that such methods existed shows how important the sound of their voice has always been to people. Interestingly, modern research shows that voice can indeed be enriched, but in completely different ways. For example, consuming certain foods rich in vitamins A, C, and E can significantly improve sound quality, and regularly drinking warm water with honey is one of the secrets of many opera singers. The second shocking practice takes us to medieval Europe, where there was a real cult of a special singing voice. Perhaps you've heard of castrato singers who possessed unique vocal abilities. Their voices combined the power of a male voice with the range of a female one, creating a unique sound. In those times, some boys with outstanding vocal abilities underwent a special procedure at an early age to preserve their high voice. This practice was especially common in Italy in the 17th and 18th centuries. The last known singer of this type, Alessandro Moreschi, passed away only in 1922. Today, such methods are, of course, considered barbaric and absolutely unacceptable. However, historical records and even some early audio recordings testify that these voices truly possessed a unique timbre that cannot be reproduced by any modern methods. The third voice-changing practice that few people know about is the voice-splitting technique used by Tuvan and Mongolian singers. This is a real miracle of vocal mastery, where one person can produce 2 or even 3 sounds simultaneously. In throat singing, the performer creates a basic low hum and simultaneously extracts high overtones that resemble whistling or flute sounds. To the uninitiated, it sounds almost like alien music. To master this technique, singers train for years, studying the special position of the tongue, lips, and even special breathing methods. The most amazing thing is that throat singing doesn't just change the voice, it expands the understanding of what the human body is capable of. Some masters can control their vocal cords so precisely that they imitate sounds of nature. The murmur of a stream, the sound of wind, or even bird songs. The fourth practice, which may seem like real madness, is the so-called voice surgery. Yes, some people undergo surgery to change the sound of their voice, and we're not just talking about medically necessary interventions. In South Korea, for instance, there's an entire voice plastic industry. Many young women turn to surgeons to make their voice higher and cuter, as this is considered attractive in their culture. The procedure includes reducing the thickness of the vocal cords or changing their tension. On the other hand, some men resort to operations to deepen their voice. There are procedures to increase the mass of vocal cords using collagen injections or even the patient's own fat. The result is a lower, more masculine voice. Of course, any operation is a risk, and voice surgery is no exception. Doctors warn that such interventions can lead to irreversible changes in the voice and not always for the better. Therefore, most specialists recommend trying less radical methods first. The fifth voice-changing practice comes to us from the world of professional actors and dubbing, pharyngeal resonance, and nasal mask. Perhaps you've never heard these terms, but you've surely noticed how some actors can completely transform their voice for different roles. The method consists of deliberately redirecting resonance to certain cavities, nasal, throat, or chest. Imagine that your voice is an instrument and your body is a resonator. By changing the position of the tongue, soft palate, and even posture, you can radically change the sound of your voice. A famous example of such transformation is cartoon voiceovers, where one actor can create voices for completely different characters. Mel Blanc, the legendary voice of Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, and many other characters, mastered this technique perfectly, creating more than 1,000 different voices throughout his career. The most amazing thing is that almost anyone can learn this technique. Of course, it will require regular practice and patience, but the results can be truly impressive. Some people start with simple exercises, for example, trying to speak while keeping the sound in different parts of the head or body. The sixth practice sounds like science fiction, but it exists right now: electronic implants for vocal cords. Initially, this technology was developed for people who lost their voice due to illness or injury, but today it's reaching a new level. Microscopic devices implanted near the vocal cords can help patients not only restore speech, but also control its quality. The most modern models allow adjusting timbre, pitch, and even pronunciation features through a special smartphone application. Imagine, in the morning you speak with a deep, velvety voice, and in the evening, by pressing a few buttons, you switch to a melodic, high timbre. Sounds incredible, but some experts predict that in the future, such devices could become as common a body modifier as today's contact lenses or hearing aids. Of course, the mass distribution of such technologies is still far away. Researchers need to solve many technical and ethical issues. However, the very possibility of such control over the voice opens up exciting prospects. The seventh voice-changing practice has roots in ancient shamanic traditions and is experiencing a real revival today. Polyphonic singing and extreme vocals, various styles of heavy music, from metal to hardcore, use shocking vocal techniques that completely transform the human voice. Growling, screaming, pig squeal. These names sound intimidating, and the voices created with their help are too. Using special techniques of throat muscle tension, breath control, and tongue position, vocalists create sounds that seem inhuman. Interestingly, when performed correctly, these techniques do not harm the vocal cords. Moreover, many professional vocal teachers note that extreme techniques require exceptional control over the vocal apparatus, comparable to opera singing. For some performers, mastering such techniques becomes a lifelong pursuit. For example, monks from Tibet practice a special type of growling singing that sounds incredibly deep and powerful. It is believed that this practice not only changes the voice, but also has a healing effect on the body. And finally, the eighth, perhaps the most modern and revolutionary practice of voice changing: neural networks and artificial intelligence. Machine learning technologies allow creating incredibly realistic voice clones, or completely changing the voice in real time. Today, there are applications that can turn your voice into a celebrity's voice, change the gender of the speaker, or even create a completely new, unique voice that never existed before. And the most amazing thing is that this requires no physical changes or years of training. Developers are creating increasingly sophisticated algorithms capable of analyzing and reproducing the subtlest nuances of human speech. Some systems can even copy emotional overtones and accents with astonishing accuracy. This technology opens up enormous possibilities, from helping people with speech disorders to creating new art forms. However, it also raises serious ethical questions about the confidentiality and authenticity of voice as a personal identifier. Now, as promised, I'll tell you about the secret technique used by many Hollywood stars. This is the layered resonance method, developed by famous voice coach Patrick Fraser. The technique combines elements of classical opera training with modern understanding of voice physiology. The essence of the method is to learn to activate different resonators in the body simultaneously, creating a rich, multi-layered sound. Imagine that your voice is an orchestra, where each instrument plays its part. Fraser teaches his clients to conduct this orchestra, achieving exactly the sound needed for a specific role or performance. Many actors who have worked with him note that after a training course, their voice becomes not just different, it becomes more obedient to their will, turning into a truly flexible instrument of self-expression. So, we've looked at 8 of the most shocking voice-changing practices, from ancient and dangerous to ultra-modern and safe. It's amazing how far people are willing to go to change the sound of their speech. Voice is a unique part of our personality, our auditory fingerprint. And although the desire to change it may seem strange, it's quite understandable. After all, voice is a powerful tool of influence, self-expression, and communication. And now I want to ask you, if you could safely change your voice in any way, which would you choose? Would you prefer a deep, velvety timbre, or a melodic, high voice? Or maybe you like your natural voice and wouldn't want to change it? Share your thoughts in the comments. If you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button. It really helps the channel. Subscribe and click the bell to not miss new episodes. Even better, share this video with friends who might be interested in this topic. In the next episode, we'll talk about another amazing ability of the human body that can be developed to an incredible level. Believe me, it will be no less shocking. Remember, your voice is not just a set of sounds, it's the music of your soul. Take care of it and use it wisely. Until next time.